So today we're going to find the area of some triangles. And you have just learned the formula. And the formula is area times 1/2, let me move my cursor, times B times H, which is base and height. One thing that you need to remember is that when you are trying to find, like right here, you have 3 different numbers. When you're trying to find which one's your base and which one's your height, they will be the lines that are perpendicular to each other. They will have that 90-degree angle. That 90-degree angle. And the 90-degree angle is shown by the little square in the corner. That means that line is straight up and that one is straight out. And those 2 lines together make a 90-degree angle. So let's start. Tells you to calculate the area for each one. Well, I know my formula is area is 1/2 times base times height. And first I need to identify my legs. And legs are just like in a right triangle, they're your perpendicular lines. So I don't care anything about this. I only care about my perpendicular lines. This one right here, the reason I'm not using this is because if this was the same length of my shape, and remember I'm trying to find my area in here, so my shape only goes from here to here. If I was trying to find the area, then this line right here, if I could use it, would be congruent, would be exactly the same number, but it's not. If I took this line and I straightened it out, so let's do it. Let's use my pencil. So if I took this line and I straightened it out, do you notice that it's longer than my shape? So this is going to be a line that we ignore right now. When we're given the base and the height, the 2 perpendicular line amounts, we're not going to worry about this. So I don't know what A is. That's what I am trying to solve. 1/2 is always part of my formula because you saw in the video, it's 1/2 of if I made this into a quadrilateral. And then I am going to multiply my base. My base is 9.1. Ms. Royce, why are you using parentheses? Because parentheses is another way to show multiplication. And my height is 31.5. Now, I can go a couple different ways. I can remember multiplying by 1/2 is just dividing by 2. So I can say 1/2 times, in my calculator, 1/2 times 9.1 times 31.2, and that would give me my answer. Or I could put 9.1 times 31.2 and then divide it by 2, because dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. And when I put that in, it is going to give me 14.196. And remember, what units are these? These are centimeters. And because you're finding area, you're making those little squares, it's squared. So I could write it with abbreviation, or I could have written squared centimeters. That's what this means. I'm just going to keep writing the abbreviation just so I don't waste time. Okay, let's look at this next one. I look for my legs that are perpendicular, right? Here's my base, here's my height. This is my slanted line. This is going to be longer than my height. So do my same formula. 1/2 area equals 1/2 times base times height. So my area is 1/2. What's my base? 2.4. What's my height? 3.2. And then my calculator, I'm going to put 1/2 times 2.4 times 3.2, or I can say 2.4 times 3.2 and divide it by 2. And that will give me the area of 3.84. Which units are these? These are inches, squared inches. And there is my answer. Okay, so now Let's look at this. Now, both of these were right triangles because you have your right angle right on the outside. Well, this one is an isosceles angle. You are going to have two slanted lines. So your perpendicular lines will go in the, straight up the middle. And then you have your base, which is going down the bottom. Now, how is this different from the others? Well, the 3.3 only gives me the measurement right there. And the 6.1 only gives me the measurement from this dashed line over here. But I need the base for the whole shape. So I'm going to take both these numbers. I'm going to add them together. It's like, oh, I walked 3.3 inches, and now I walked another 6.1 inches. How far did I travel? I traveled 9.4 inches. So my base is going to be 9.4. And my height, remember, it's my perpendicular line. I want to look for that right angle, is 4.4. And now all I do is put it in my formula. 1/2 times base times height. Whoops, you can't see anything I'm writing. All right, so area, 1/2, what's my base? 9.4, what's my height? 4.4. Calculator, 1/2 times 9.4 times 4.4, or multiply 9.4 times 4.4 divided by 2. It will give me the same result, 20.68. I'm dealing with inches squared. Okay, so now I've kind of done all of these that have a perpendicular line in them. Let's do a scalene triangle. And a scalene triangle just means I will not have a perpendicular line. I'll have two slanted lines. Well, here's my base. Let's give my base 8 inches. Base is 8 inches. But I need to find the height. Well, I need to go to right here. This is how high my triangle is. So think about if you dropped something straight down from the very top of it. You have that imaginary line. That would give you a line straight down. And then imagine if your base continued straight across. Wouldn't this meet at perpendicular lines? Yes. So I need to know this line that would drop and say the height, this is the height, say it's 14 inches. So now I have my base. Now my base won't continue in my imaginary line because my base, my shape only is in here. I just did my imaginary lines so I could create a perpendicular line or perpendicular lines. And now I do the same thing. Same formula, 1/2 times base times height. And I'm solving for A. 1/2, base is 8, height is 14. Now I could do what's half of 8, 4, and then 4 times 14. Or I could do what's half of 14 and say that's 7, and 7 times 8 is 56. Or I can say 1/2 times 8 times 14 and get 56. Or I can say 8 times 14 divided by 2, which is also going to give me 56. There's lots of different ways I can do that. But it's going to be 56 inches, and then it's area, so you know you're dealing with those little squares inside. And that is how I solve for the area, for the area of a triangle.